Y'all, we gotta talk about this because this needs to be said. It's odd to me how people have the audacity. I'm just about to go in and talk about a personal experience. Now, like I said, dealing with toxic, dysfunctional, one-sided, potentially narcissistic and dysfunctional people who they're only in your life to get something for themselves. And as long as once you're no longer of benefit to them, they don't want anything to do with you. So again, these people come in and out, you can discard them, they can discard you. Doesn't matter. I can guarantee you they will be back in some form or fashion. And granted, not everybody comes back. Not everybody hoovers. Not everybody is in and out of your life. You know what I mean? There's always exceptions to the rule. However, more often than not, these types tend to treat people's lives like revolving doors. So they, like I said, you can discard them, they can discard you. They tend to come back. And the person from last year, that I pretty much ended the whole situation, so I did the discarding. This is at the end of February 2021. We are now in June of 2022. So damn near a year and a half later, right? So we're basically at 15 and a half, 16 months since I've talked to you, or seen you. And this person is hitting me up constantly, and the whole thing is the same thing, and I'm just about to go there. Gas is $5.19 or more a gallon in my area. I no longer live in Detroit, in the Metro Detroit area. So even if I was trying to entertain this, I'm not wasting gas and driving an hour plus just to see you to hook up. It's not that serious. It never has been that serious. And then I'm going to also say this. Trigger warning, TMI, we're talking about sex, sexual intercourse. Trigger warning, okay, TMI. Head is a dime a dozen. You can find a mouth anywhere. So, because that's his whole thing is, well, my head game, my oral game is this. Ain't nobody gonna do it like me, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, dude, do you know how many humans have mouths? You're nobody special, bruh. And again, you can get head anywhere from anybody. So nobody's driving an hour plus just to get head. And then, again, you're in the closet, living double and quadruple lives. So you mean to tell me someone's going to drive an hour plus just to be laid up in the bed or, in your apartment for the day? You're going to waste $70 to $80 in gas for that? It's just mind-boggling to me. And again, I haven't talked to you in 15 and a half, 16 months, going on a year and a half. Why would you think I would still be entertaining trying to have any sexual intercourse with you? And it just goes to show you, again, and I'm going to say this especially for those in the trans community, we deal with fetishizing 24/7, and a lot of times these are the same people who are transphobic in public, homophobic in public, because again, they're also on the DL about their own sexuality, and then they don't want to address the fact that they're attracted to trans people. So again, they're only talking to you for sex. You'll notice the entire conversation or whatever type of relationship you have with them is always surrounded and occupied by sex. And that's it. There's no going out to eat. There's no going to the movies. There's no going to the gym. There's no going to the park. There's no going to the bar for drinks. There's no going to a concert or going to a sporting event. There's none of that because they have no intentions of ever being seen with you in public. They don't even want to be associated with you. So it's just... And you think someone's going to be wasting $75, $80 on gas to drive an hour plus just to get head and to sit up and lay up in somebody's apartment? It's just, I have to laugh when I look at a lot of these odd behaviors that are being shown, because it's just like nobody has time for any of that. And it's just ridiculous that you would think I'm finna be wasting my time with that, and then you keep trying to make it seem like, I just needed a taste, and I haven't tasted you in a minute, and blah blah blah. And again, it's always about sex, and it's just a huge turnoff. And the thing is, I like sex. I like, getting off. I mean, most people, I'm not going to say most people, but there's a lot of people that enjoy sexual intercourse, whether that's oral, anal, vaginal, a mixture, foreplay, whatever. There's people who enjoy it, okay? And I'm one of those people that enjoy it, but I don't want my entire life to be revolving around sex. And then I don't want to be dealing with people who are only engaging with me because of my trans identity, and they're just fetishizing me. And I definitely don't want to be dealing with people who are on the DL. And this is, I don't know if it's because of Mercury retrograde. I don't know if it's because, I think what they were saying, Mars is in retrograde or something. I don't know if it's because of the retrograde season, or is it just a simple fact that we're dealing with toxic, dysfunctional, pathological people, potentially narcissistic people. But it's like, these people come out of the woodwork. You've moved on with your life. You haven't talked to them in years. You haven't talked to them in months. You've moved on. You're in a whole different mindset, and here they come. They always seem to come back. I had another person as well hit me up this week, 2 days ago, and I'm just like, okay, I haven't seen you since September of 2021. It is June of 2022. Like, it's just the most weirdest thing. And then before that, I hadn't seen that person since 2020, before the September 2021 episode. So that's why I'm like, I'm not interested. And again, it's always about sex and only about sex. And I think, again, I'm going to post this on both of my GeoFucks channel and my Psych Perspectives channel. Again, for trans people, we're constantly being sexualized and fetishized. We're being, we face so many adversities, and people always wonder why it's so difficult for people in the trans community to have genuine relationships. And that's because most of the time, especially if you're dealing with a cisgendered person, they're only talking to you because you're trans, and they're only talking to you so they can have sex with you. They're treating you like a sexual object, like you're just a masturbation tool. You might as well be a pocket pussy or a pocket anus at this point, because nobody's really engaging with you as a human being to actually get to know you on that type of level, to see that, you know what I mean? They don't really care about you. And that's not all cisgender people, but let's be real. A lot of times in the trans community, cisgendered men particularly, will sit up here and treat trans women, trans men, trans masculine, trans feminine, gender fluid, non-binary, genderqueer people like we're just sexual objects, and then there's no real relationship, which is another reason why I strongly recommend, if you are transgender or trans person, or you fall under the transgender umbrella, in my opinion, it's probably better for you to date other trans people or other people that fall under the transgender umbrella, because you're going to have more in common, obviously. And it's not to say that there aren't toxic, dysfunctional, narcissistic, abusive, pathological people who are transgendered or under the transgender umbrella, because there's toxicity in every single community. However, you tend to find actual people who want to get to know you as an individual, actually want to know what makes you tick, actually want to hang out and form real friendships that can potentially lead to a real romantic or platonic relationship that you're not going to get with somebody that's fetishizing you. I mean, again, they don't want to be seen in public with you. Pay attention to all of this shit. So it's just something that I wanted to talk about. And have your boundaries. Have your boundaries. If you're not interested in having sex with random ass people that you don't even know and you haven't met or you haven't been in communication with for quite some time, don't respond, block them, and move on. Have your boundaries, have your dignity and self-respect, because that's just it. I'm not interested in being your best hidden secret. I'm not interested in being your booty call. I'm not interested in being your trans fetish. And also, my life is not a revolving door. You don't get to sit up and come in and out whenever you feel like it. I cut you off, especially the one from February 2021, for a reason, because I was already seeing all the red flags, and lo and behold, it's like a textbook. Once you learn about narcissism and narcissistic behaviors and traits and how these types of people interact with others, you will be able to spot their asses a mile away. You'll be seeing the red flags. Like, it's almost like a parade of red flags when you're talking to certain people. And it's like, oh, no, I already know I'm not finna waste a lot of time and energy in this. Deuces.